Hello students, today we're going to talk about Google Docs, and when you are signed in to your account in Google, then you will simply click on the waffle and open Docs, Google Docs. As that opens, you're going to see some options here at the top to start a new document, and then your recent documents will appear below that. For today's purposes, we're going to start with a blank document. So you'll click on the plus sign, and immediately when you open a document, if you already know what your subject's going to be or what that document is going to be about, then I suggest that you go ahead and click here to Untitled Document, and it should highlight the whole words that are there, and name this. I'm just going to name it Practice, since we are starting to practice and learn how to use Google Docs. Now, most of you know a lot about Google Docs already. This is just a really quick review for you. Once you have typed the title, click back on your what I call the blank sheet of paper on your page to start working there. Now, I'm ready to type. I'm just going to type the name of our school. And after I type that, I have several ways that I can then change that font. I can click at the end of the text and select it. I can click at the beginning of the text and select it. If I want to select just a word, I can click the cursor in that word and then double click. Or I can triple click and it will actually select the whole entire line, entire line of text that I have chosen. Now, at that point then, if you look up here, this is your menu bar and lots of tools that you can work with here. And we have normal text. You can actually change that to a title, a subtitle, a heading, and then anytime you see a little caret or arrow like you've been using for editing and writing, always make sure you either hover over that or click on it because there will be even more options there. So I'm going to leave this as normal text, and I'm going to change the font. This is your font section, and I'm going to change this font to, let's change it to Comic Sans. Okay. Now, if I click away from that, see my text is no longer highlighted. If I try to change the size of the text, this is what the number is here, it's not doing anything because I haven't selected the text. I must select the text before I can change anything. So I'm going to change that to 36 size font. Now, another thing I could have done is over here, this would have increased it, and I could have just changed it to a title. It only put it at 26. So you can play around with it and see what you like and choose different options. So I'm going to go in between those two and do a 30. Now, if you do not see the number that you want, or if you want somewhere in between this, I can actually, because this turns blue when I click in it, I can just change it to 28, which is not one of my options, but I can set it at that if I choose. And then I can, I don't think I had it selected, so let me change it again, 28, and then enter, and then it changes it, it made it a little bit smaller. Okay, my text is still selected. I can make it bold. Okay, which of course makes it darker. I can make it italics, which slants it. I can even underline it. Okay, so if I want to do all those things, I have that option. Now, this is for text color. If you'll notice when you hover over any of the tools at the tops, it tells you what it does. Okay, so I'm going to change this I'm going to choose a purple because that's my favorite color. And I can do that. Now I've clicked away, so I do not have my text selected. Okay. Some of the other things that we can do is select the text. This is left aligned, where it aligns to the left side of the paper. Centered, right aligned, and then justified, which means it will be even on both sides, the right and the left. I'm going to center this in the middle of my paper. Now, you have some other options that we will talk about at a later time. But then once you have finished typing there, you notice my cursor did not go down to the next line because it's not to the very end of the margin of that paper. So I do have to hit the return key and move down to the next line. Now, as you'll notice, the cursor got smaller. Okay, it went back to the default of Arial and 11. Now, I can go ahead and change that now and have my text be what I want it to be, or I can just go ahead and type and then go back and change it. It's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and do, let's do a cursive. I'm going to make that an 18, and I can start typing. I'm just going to put home of the Bobcats. I'm going to put Cleveland, Tennessee. Now, I still want that underneath this. Now, the cool thing is I can actually click here at the end and select both lines of text if I want to, and tell it to center it. And I can even select it and change the color if I want to. So let's do a burgundy, because we do have burgundy in our colors. And then I can go back up here and think, oh, I really like purple, but if I'm going to talk about our school and our mascot, then maybe I'll highlight that, and our colors are maroon and gold. So I can change it that way, and it looks like our school colors. So those are just some tips on just basic manipulation of the text that you can do with color, size, font, and then special effects that you can do to that. And so we're going to work on that, and then I'll have another video for you to watch about some other things that you can do.